Why are you looking at me? I say, ask them. Ask them, look into their eyes and say, what is your God-given dream? By the way, for all the parents here, I need to remind you, we also have a dream child that will go hand in hand with our dream conference. So register your child. By this time, you should have received a flyer given to the children. That's free of charge. On the Friday night that we have the conference, we're going to have a special dream conference for all the children. God, let me assure you today, is never too young to dream. Joseph was only a kid when the Lord gave him a dream. And it's also true that you are not too old to dream. The Bible says the old man. And I want to encourage everybody here this morning that dreams also do not expire. There's no expiry date on dreams. As long as you have breath, as long as you are alive, whatever God has placed in your heart, age is just a number. Caleb was 80 years old when he said to Joshua, give me this mountain. Moses was 80 years old when God called him back to Israel. Turn to somebody and say, there's no expiry date on your dream. If there are no expiry dates on our dream, then why are there so many unfulfilled dreams? Why do most of us die without fulfilling that which God has given us, the assignment by which he has called us? The reason because today I want to address the subject, dream killers. Take your notes from your bulletin and come with me as we wrestle with the things that paralyze, the things that destroy our God-given dream. And we are looking at the life of Joseph and drawing principles from this life to help us make sure that we get to that destination, that dream place that God has given us. Are you still with me? So let's look at, we want to turn to chapter 37. We are now looking at verse 17 to 19. Last 2 Sundays, we began this series by saying, you must dare to dream. Joseph said, I have a dream. And he had 2 dreams. And we share with you how you can find out your dream, how you can talk to God, and how you can look at your own personality, your own passions. And if you missed that last 2 Sundays sermon, make sure you get it because it's a very good introduction. The next thing we hear about Joseph is that his dream was being killed. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan. But they saw him in the distance. And before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. Somebody said to kill him. Why did they want to kill him? They said, here comes the dreamer. They said to each other, come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say that a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams. I'm here to tell you they are dream killers. And this morning I'm going to name a few that you need to be aware of. And so that you can identify them when they come and say, hey, that's a dream killer. I'm not going to let you kill my dream, and I'm not going to let situations kill my dream. Dream killer number 1 is obvious. The obvious one is Satan. Now, I want you to hear me very clearly because as I was praying and planning for this, God gave me a certain revelation about the way the enemy works. You see, God will birth a dream, a purpose, an assignment in your life. And the enemy wants to make sure that that dream that you are carrying, that you, one, either abort that dream. He wants to make sure that that dream is not carried to its full term. He will do whatever possible so that you can abandon the dream. Call it spiritual abortion. Many of you have been through things and you've made a determination, a decision, I'm going to abort. I can't go on anymore. I can't carry this anymore. Some of you, ever since you came to this country and you look at situations and things became very difficult. Some of you may be immigration issues. Some of you may be marriage issue. Life happens. And you made a decision at a point to abort. Sometimes it may not even be abortion. It may be what I call miscarriage. Abortion is a decision you make. Miscarriage, you don't make that decision. Your body just releases due to circumstances that your womb or you cannot carry that thing anymore. Something is going on and you miscarriage. And the enemy, if he cannot get you to abort, he may cause situation and life and oppression and all kinds of things to come against you so that your container cannot hold on to that dream anymore. It may not be a decision, a choice, but because of the circumstances, you realize the dream is lost. You look back and you will wonder what happened to that dream. And if he cannot get you to either abort or miscarry the dream, look at me here. When that dream is birthed, he will make sure that he kills the dream. I need to catch this revelation. The enemy is all over your dream. Let me show you something. Revelation chapter 12. Something interesting is happening here. Then I witnessed in heaven an event of great significance. Pay attention. I saw a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon beneath her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. But this woman was pregnant. And this is what the devil does not want to see. From Adam all the way to the time that Jesus was born, he made sure that God's idea of redemption, his dream for mankind, is either aborted, miscarriage, and when he couldn't, he was going to make sure that child is destroyed. She was pregnant, and she cried out in the pain of labor as she waited her delivery. The Bible says, suddenly I witnessed in heaven another significant event. I need you to understand, if you want to understand spiritual things concerning your assignment. I saw a large red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, with 7 crowns on his heads. His tail dragged down 1/3 of the stars. Obviously, we are talking about Lucifer, which he threw to the earth. He stood before the woman, and as she was about to give birth to her child, ready to devour the baby as soon as it was born. Go back to Exodus. In Moses, God carried the dream. And Pharaoh made sure that that dream does not survive. Every child 2 years or less must be killed. This dream cannot be allowed to grow. And many of you, as soon as that dream is birthed, that dream is not even given, forgive my metaphor, given the chance to even cry out, that dream dies. The same applies when Jesus was being born, where this particular passage refers to. Say, this child cannot live. This time it was Herod who said, every child. So the Bible, by revelation, God told Joseph and the wife Mary to flee to Egypt because the enemy wanted to kill that child. So I'll make sure that this baby does not live. If I can't get the baby to be aborted or miscarriage, even when the baby is born, we will destroy it. And for some of us, that has been the story of our lives. Dream killers. How does he do this? Number one, he may put doubt in your mind. He may cause you to even doubt that dream, that vision, are you sure? Are you sure that God has spoken? He told Adam. Are you sure this is from God? Look at you. You are from Timbuktu. How can you dream big like that? It's your mind. You are daydreaming. You think God couldn't find better people to place this assignment? Enemy will do everything possible to poke doubt into your mind. And many of you, you wonder whether, is this really from God? Because that's where he succeeds. And if he doesn't succeed, then he will try to destabilize you. Oh, this is when he will throw everything against you, every temptation against you. You see, the devil has a file on you. He knows every sin you ever committed since you were in diapers. And he knows your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, and your struggles. And let me tell you, he will throw them against you. He knows what makes you slip. He knows what makes you backslide. He knows the kind of bait that attracts you. And I'm here to tell you that is what the enemy is going to do to destabilize you. He said, this man we cannot kill, but we can kill his fire. If the enemy knows that he cannot destroy the dream in your life, he will make sure that he will destroy that container. Am I still in church? Luke chapter 22. Look at this. Jesus, I see something. I see, Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift you. He does that. He has asked to sift all of you as a wheat. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. Because that is his goal. I know a lot of people who are supposed to be here in church, but they're out there because their faith has failed. The enemy has destabilized them. They have been through something. They have hit a wall, or they've gone through a situation. They've experienced some dark patches. Some of them have experienced tragedy, and the enemy has destabilized them. There are people, and Jesus, I see it's going to happen to you, Peter. The enemy is going to destabilize. Even though I've prayed for you, you are still going to be destabilized. But this is my prayer, that when you have turned back, the goal of the enemy is to make you backslide. And when you backslide, you can't fulfill your dream. Oh, I know God is speaking to somebody right now. I know that. As long as you're on fire, you are on your road to fulfilling your dream. So you want to kill your fire. He will throw everything at you. When you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. I see. Jesus, all of you are going to backslide. What are the things that the enemy uses to destabilize you? What are the things? You need to be aware of your own weaknesses and vulnerabilities and protect yourself against them. Because your dream is at stake. The enemy will, when he causes you to sin, many of us, what really kills us is not actually the sin, it's the shame that comes with it. Enemy says, so, now you've done it. Now everybody knows about it. Now look at you. Everybody. That was what was eating into Moses. Everybody knows. You've committed murder. Oh, everybody knows in Egypt. Where can you run to? Anywhere you look. Oh, maybe that person knows about the killing. That person knows about the killing. The enemy can use shame to suck you out and destroy you and make you feel as if you are the worst sinner on earth. I'm talking about shame. It's a very powerful tool of the enemy. It was shame that caused Adam to run away from God. It wasn't a sin, it was a shame. He hid himself because he felt naked. If doubt does not work, if he cannot destabilize you, then he can discourage you. I'm talking about Satan. The enemy will sabotage you. Sometimes you feel like nothing is working. You have this dream you are trying to pursue. You don't have the money. Everything is going wrong. Even the application is not working right. God has called you somewhere. You keep being rejected. But God, you told me that you are sending me to Canada. Immigration even doesn't want to see your face. The enemy will make sure that he brings frustration into your journey. He tried it on Joseph. He tried to linger him with sin through him, and we'll talk about this next 2 weeks. The woman came around and says, sleep with me, sleep with me. Joseph, no. I'm going somewhere. My assignment, I cannot allow you to distract me. I am going somewhere. He said, if the enemy cannot, now listen to me. If the enemy cannot get you to commit a sin, he will create one to disgrace you. It's called false accusation. He will try to make you stumble. Now hear me very carefully. And when you stumble, he will use shame to keep you in your sin. If he cannot keep you to sin, then he will create sin for you. Come and look at this boy. He was trying to sleep with me. Everybody come and look at it. Why would Potiphar's wife lie about this boy? For what purpose? When they could not find any guile with Jesus, they created one. This man says this and this. And they found a reason to crucify him. Because the man was a righteous person. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't take a lot for the enemy to find something against you. Because we are all sinners. Amen? You can find something. But let's assume that he doesn't find anything. He will create one. In other words, he wants to make sure. And because of that false accusation, he spent over 17 years of his life in jail regarding a sin that he didn't even commit. And yet, the Bible says, and God was with him. Are you still with me? I need you to understand that dream killers are the ones that are standing between you and where you need to go. Satan. The second one is society. When you add on top of what Satan is doing, he also have got people that will come and try to finish off what he couldn't finish. Look at the life of Joseph. Let's go back to the passage. One night, Joseph had a dream and promptly reported the details to his brothers. I want to take note of the word prompted. Causing them to hate him even more. Listen to this dream, he answered. We were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. My bundles stood up. And then your bundles all gathered around and bowed low before it. So you are going to be our king, are you? His brothers, what? Taunted. That's what dream killers do. They will taunt you. I remember when, I think I've shared this with some of you. When I used to have dreams and I used to see myself as a child, maybe 17, 18 years old, preaching to all these different people, different colors. And when I would share it with my friend, they would laugh so hard, their stomach would hurt. And they started to give me a nickname, the International Man. Anytime they see me, they say, there comes the International Man. We are here in Timbuktu. You think you are better than us. You want to preach to other people. And they start to laugh. When the Lord called me into ministry, I remember the very high school, 1982. I was so excited. I went to my mom to, you know the story. I said, Mom, God have called me into ministry. She was cooking. She laughed so hard, she almost fell into the fire. That day, my dream almost died. He said, look, I love you. I care about you. Preaching is not your calling. God can find people who can talk. Do something with your hands or your feet. The mouth is not for you. And they hated him all the more for his dream and what he has said. Then Joseph had another dream and told his brothers about it. Listening to this dream, he said, The sun, now the dream gets bigger. Like I told you, God's dream for you gets bigger and bigger. The sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bow low before me. This time, he told his father as well as his brothers. And his fathers rebuked him. Shut it up. Stop it. You are getting off hand. Now you are adding this to your dream. What do you mean? His father asked. Will your mother, your brothers, and I actually come and bow before you? What's your problem? What is it? What have you been eating? This McDonald's you have been eating is giving you problems. Stop eating this food. What kind of nonsense is that? This is high-class nonsense. What is that? Discouragement. I remember David coming and he heard about Goliath, and the first people who really killed his dream tried to is his family. He said, who is this guy that is just screaming and shouting? I can take him on. His brother said, shut up. This boy, you have no good. You have been brought here to bring us food. Take your food, bring it, leave here, and leave. What kind of nonsense is that? Go take care of the sheep. So he said, no, I can't fight him. I don't care what you say. Shut up and leave. And then because of the argument, it was whispered to Saul that, hey, there's a boy here who is making some noise. He's saying that he can be, what have you? And so they brought Saul. Saul said, look, kid, I'm sure he looked at him and said, hey, kiddo, listen, this one is not a child play. You know, if you want to play around, you can take your skateboard and then go around Surrey Central and do your skateboarding. This is serious stuff here. He said, no, I can't fight him. I can't fight him. I've killed a bear, I've killed a lion. All right, take the armor. Put the armor on him, boom, he falls down. So you see, you can't even wear an armor. How can you feel? No, you know what? I don't need the armor. I'll take my stones. Dream killer number one, his brothers. Number two, Saul. And then he faced Goliath. Goliath looked at him and said, who is this? Look, kid, live here. Systematically, everybody that he faced told him he couldn't do it. He said, look, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to cut off your head. And Israel will know. In other words, you need some tenacity, some spirit of persistence and extraordinary courage to go through. In other words, if you don't do it, there are people on your way to destroy it. When it comes to sharing your dream, I want you to write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Be careful whom you share your dream with. Write it down. I'll wait for you to write it down. Why do you have to be careful whom you share your dream with? Let me tell you, dreams at this very early stage, it is most fragile, and it's at its greatest risk of being killed when it is fresh. So you got to let it be, grow inside you, pray through it, let it really simmer, let it really marinate. Be careful as soon as, and that was Joseph's problem. That's why I told you, take note of the way promptly. There are some dreams that are not meant to be shared. A lot of us, our dreams have been killed because you share it when the dream is most fragile. It's very risky. You haven't even allowed it to really resonate even in your own spirit. Let me give you some two principles. Number one, I want you to realize that there are some dreams that are shareable. There are some dreams that is meant to be shared so that others can come along. Habakkuk chapter 2 said this particular dream and vision, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. There are some vision that you need others to catch, that he may run that readeth it. There are some visions and dreams that are meant to rally others. You have to know that. And then there are some dreams which are secretive. There are some dreams that are not meant to share. Let me give you an example. Luke chapter 2. And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. And when they had seen it, they made known abroad the saying which was told them concerning this child. These people came and they were saying, going everywhere, telling people. All that they had heard, wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds. Somebody say, but Mary. Say it again, but Mary. He kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. Some of you, if you were Mary, it would have been on Facebook the next second. Hey, I am pregnant. The Messiah herself. Click, 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 selfie, selfie, selfie. They will kill you. Sometimes I even wonder, people get pregnant and they are putting it all over the place. No, I'm not against your pregnancy on Facebook. Be careful. Maybe where I've come from, I've come too far. Can't be showing your pregnant belly everywhere. Exposing your belly everywhere. You wonder why I'm going through what I'm going through with my pregnancy. There are some pregnancy that is meant to be secret. You see, where I come from, can I tell you something about where I come from? First 3 months, you don't say anything. Because the tradition says that the baby is too young. At 3 months, the witches can't touch it. The bones are too hard. It's a very funny tradition, but it has some truth in it. There are people who don't want your progress. There are people who don't want you to get pregnant. And these things are real. There are people who want to kill your baby before 9 months. So make sure that even doctors will tell you when you pass 3 months, you are safe. You don't go broadcasting in this age. I want to talk to you young people. It's not everything that is on Instagram. There are some things that is meant to be kept. Pray over it. Pray to it. Put fire in it. Soak it in prayer. And when the Lord says it is mature, then you can share with others. And even when they try to kill it, they say, you're joking. You don't know where I've come from. You don't know where I have soaked this dream. You can't do it. Yeah, this can't happen. Look, I know your uncle's daughter's son friend who tried this. It didn't work. I'm not your uncle's daughter's friend. God has called me uniquely. I'm going to fulfill this. Nehemiah. 3 days after my arrival at Jerusalem. Now, this is a man who has been given a vision, a dream, to go back and rebuild the broken walls. He said, I slept out during the night, taking only a few others with me. I have not told anyone about the plans God had put in my heart for Jerusalem. Smart guy. We took no pack animals with us. The city officials did not know that I had been out there and what I was doing. For I have not yet said anything to anyone about my plans. I had not yet spoken to the religious, the political leaders, officials, or anyone else in the administration. Some dreams have been killed because you talk too fast. Too soon. Hey, is that what you are planning to do? We shall see. Careful of society. Satan will kill it. Society will kill it. And I believe your dream killer number one is yourself. Because if you have confidence in yourself, it doesn't matter what the enemy will throw at you, including the kitchen sink, you will stand. Number one, iniquity. Your own sin will destroy you. And that's why I told you at the beginning that you got to understand your own struggles and vulnerabilities and protect yourself against them, because that is what will bring you down. Your own sin. It was sin of sexual immorality that brought down Samson. Couldn't fulfill his dream. It was a sin of pride that Saul could not conquer, that brought him down. It was a sin of money, the love of money, that brought Judas down. Couldn't conquer. You need to take a deep look at the sin that you easily commit. Hebrews 12 talks about the sin that easily beset you. Those are your dream killers. You got to ask yourself, is this temporal pleasure, is it worth the God-given dream in my life? God gave the whole book of Isaiah is all about God's children whom God has imparted and given a dream, but they've gone out looking for prostitutes. So what are you doing with prostitutes when God has given you this precious thing in your soul, in your life? You need to ask yourself, is this self-pleasure better than what God, the enormous burden that God has placed on me? Every one of us, we need to come to that place. I know we've all been there. I have been there. But there comes a moment in your life when you need to say, enough is enough. I got to walk with God in righteousness and in purity so that his purposes in my life will be fulfilled. Sin will kill your dream. Rise up. And today, some of you need to make a God decision. I need to put certain things behind me, and by the grace of God, he will help you. Amen? Iniquity. Number 2, insecurities. Be careful what you hear, because what you hear can create insecurity in your life. And I know what people say. They talk. You are ugly. You are this. What you hear can affect your spirit and your soul. You need to be careful. Even be careful what you see. Many of us, we thought we were very beautiful and handsome until we started to watch TV. Too much TV will cause insecurity in you because Hollywood will make sure that you know that you are ugly. Because they have created their own frame of reference. Every kid, every boy thought they were something until you start watching TV. They will tell you, these are the frame of reference. You don't fit it. If you don't have a certain cheekbone, a certain size of breast, or a certain fixture, if you're not as slim as a pencil or a pen, then you are not beautiful. Everybody must look like a Barbie. I say everybody needs to look like a Barbie. Ladies, are you looking at me? And we are striving because the Barbie has become our frame of reference. And that has caused us to feel we can't measure up. We are ugly. If I'm ugly, God can use me. Do you know the fatter you are, the more you feel valueless? Because society has said you are not valued. Because value is measured by the scale. Go on the scale and then we'll tell you your value. If you weigh 50 pounds, your value is high. If you are 400 pounds, don't even try to apply. You might not even get a job. I'm telling you. Be careful what you hear, what you see. Be careful also what people do to you. The rejection and the abandonment and the struggles of disappointment you go through can make you feel that you cannot. Insecurity can kill your dream. Are you still with me? And this is my favorite part, immaturity. Some of us, our dreams die because we don't have the capacity, the ability to grow alongside the dream that God has given us. Let me explain. God called Abraham and gave him a big vision. And he told him, I am the Lord your God. Walk before me and be thou perfect. You need to grow into the dream. Are you hearing what I'm saying, child of God? God's size dream is big, but God gave it to you as a child. As a child, you cannot fulfill that dream. You need to grow. Okay. Let me read this and then maybe it will help you. Look. Let's go to Luke. Now, this is Zechariah prophesying, speaking into the life of his son John, the dream of God. Watch this. And you, child, will be called the prophet of the highest. That's God's dream for you. For you go before the face of the Lord, he says, to prepare his ways, to give knowledge of salvation to his people. This is God's dream. Remember, he said, you, child. As a child, he cannot fulfill that. What must he do? He needs to grow. So the Bible says in the next verse, so the child grew and became stronger in spirit and was in the desert till the day of his manifestation to Israel. You got to grow. You have to have your intellectual capacity. Some of you, your dream requires that you read, you study, you expand your thinking capacity. And you are sitting there on Facebook, on TV watching. You wonder, what's happened to my dream? You don't have the intellectual capacity. The dream that God, the Bible says about Moses, that he went to Egypt to study about the philosophies. It's in the Bible. Read Acts chapter 7. God made sure that Moses was prepared for the calling that he has called him. I don't like school. I'm too old for school. My brain is rusted. There's no brain that is rusted. If it's rusted, dust it off. Buy WD 40. Buy WD 40 and spray in your brain. They will take the rust out. You are not too old to go back to school if that's what it takes to fulfill your dream. Some of you don't have the emotional capacity. By the way, when I'm done with this series, I'm going to go into dream capacity. The intellectual capacity that you need to take. The physical capacity. Some of you, you need to work out. The way you are right now. If you don't stay in shape, you may not fulfill your dream. Some people die before their time because of their high blood pressure, because of their cholesterol, because of their sugar level. And you say, oh, God is my healer. Keep eating the sugar. I am the Lord that heals you. Keep eating the rice. Keep eating the McDonald's. Some people die before their time, not because God has ordained it, but because of their own foolishness. Lack of knowledge. You need spiritual capacity. You need to grow in the spirit. Why do I get up every morning to pray? Because I know my dream depends on it. Hey! You rise up early in the morning. Even Jesus rose up early in the morning and pray, went to the mountain, pray. Because you need a strong spirit to carry the weight of the dream. And it's not enough just to pray by yourself. Sometimes you also need to go to a prayer meeting. Some of you have stopped coming to a prayer meeting. No, your capacity is, one shall chase 1,000. The way God is calling you, you need to chase 10,000. And 10,000, you can't do it alone. You need capacity. You need critical mass. You need people to come alongside with you. Where you say, where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. I need you to join me because what I am carrying is huge. Pray with me. You need others to come and pray with you. You are sitting home. What are you doing on a Friday night? When people are gathered here praying, you are watching TV and you wonder, why is your dream stuck? Come and meet with others. Barbara said, get into small groups. Find like-minded people and think alike. Let somebody challenge you and grow in the word of truth. Let me wipe my face. Thank you. Never stop learning. Every one of you, never stop learning. The day that you stop learning and reading, that day you stop growing. Paul, at the end of his life, was in jail. He sent Timothy and he requested 2 things. Just 2 things. He said, bring me the cloak, for I am cold. I need it. And he said, bring me the books. Bring me the books. I need to read. This is the Apostle Paul, the most learned apostle of all the New Testament. He was still reading even to the end of his life. Read. Get off the internet. Read. Amazon can bring you your book the following day. Read. Increase your mind and your soul and your spirit, because your dream will go as far as to your maturity level. When my son was young, I had a watch for him. But I couldn't give him, because if I gave him that watch, he would destroy it. He was a kid. I needed to wait till he grows. Then I'll give him that watch. Then he will value it and take care of it. The watch is the dream that God has given you. But that dream will not come to pass unless you grow into it. God said, Joseph, you are too immature. I need you to grow. I'm going to pack you in a place called jail. And out of the jail, I will mold you. Out of the jail, I will make you. Out of the day, you are going to grow. Whatever it takes, I'm going to make sure you get to that place that you need to get to. And the Bible said when the fullness of time came, Joseph stood before Pharaoh. He was not matured. He could handle everything. He could handle unforgiveness. He could handle bitterness. He could even handle his brothers who sold him up. Saw them, he cried, and even blessed them. He has matured. Some of you, you are everything. You are fighting over everything. He didn't say hello to me, so you are all angry. You didn't talk to somebody for 2 days. Grow up. You are emotionally immature. If you cannot even take somebody not saying hello to you and you are all wired up, what's your problem? You got to grow. Look at the fruits of the Spirit. They are all emotions. I call it the emotional healthy Christian. If you are not emotionally healthy, God cannot trust you with the big dreams. The next one is what I call inertia. I love this. Inertia, those of you who are aware, is a lack of activity. When we become comfortable in your own mediocrity. Those of you who remember your high school physics, you know the law of inertia by Isaac Newton. Let me quote it because it is as relevant. It's a property of matter by which it continues in its existing state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line. Not that our object will continue to stay the way they are unless that state is changed by an external force. By nature, we all want to be where we are and stay the same. That's the law of inertia. Until that object is pushed or a force, external force causes it to move, it will move. Say, hey, I'm here. I'm here. Look, I've got my condo, I've got my children, I'm here. Forget about dream. And that was what was killing Moses. I am here. I'm here. I'm here. Everywhere is here. You know, I really wanted to go to Abbotsford, but Surrey is okay. It's okay. I know God wants me to go to Abbotsford, but Abbotsford, Surrey, it's all lower mainland. I'm here. You've settled. You need an external force to move you. And that force is the Holy Ghost. That force is the preaching of the word. Today I'm here to move somebody from your mediocrity. You are settled. You are settled in your own space. And you are even happy about it. And that is even more dangerous. The other one is irresponsibility. When you tend to blame everybody for your lack of progress, for why you are not where you are, you don't take any ownership of your situation. Yes, things have been done to you. Yes, things have been said to you. If I tell you the things that my mother said to me, you will wonder why I'm still preaching the word. People can say things to you. Your father can say things to you. They said to Joseph, they did everything. They even sold him. His own brothers, he watched as they bargained for his life. And they sold him and they walked away. And they took his cloak, soaked it in animal's blood, went home and told his father, this man has been attacked by animals. What kind of brothers are this? He saw it. He saw his own brothers abandon him. Joseph could have stood being in jail and blame, first of all, his brothers. Because of my brothers, that's where I am. I'm so broken. I'm so insecure. This is why I'm living in Surrey instead of West Van. If my brothers have not done to me, I'll be staying in West Van and I'll be fulfilling my dream. And my parents, my own parents, they told me to shut up. I have every reason to be where I am. I didn't grow up in a good home. My parents, it was so dysfunction. Joseph grew up in a dysfunctional home. Even that, he could even blame Potiphar's wife. Even that, look at this woman. I didn't do anything, no. I didn't even touch her. I didn't even smell her. And look at where I am. This is where I am. You want to know why I'm like this? Anybody say, hello, Joseph, shut up. Hello to you. I don't like women like you. Women like you. That's women like you. I don't like you. Hello for what? So that you're going to give me a false accusation? He has every reason. He has every reason to forget about even the cupbearer who forgot about him in prison. Joseph had reasons, but he took responsibility and said, Ephraim, Manasseh, God has helped me to forget. What is your excuse? Let me give you one more. Inadequacy. The mistakes I've made, the shame that I mentioned, the sequence that we go through makes it feel. And Moses is a typical classic case of somebody who said, I'm inadequate. This is what he said. When the Lord said, Moses, I need you. He said, who am I? First he said, who am I? Who am I? He said, God said, I'm with you. I'll be with you. He said, if you want to go, what shall I say? He said in verse 11 of Exodus 3, God said, I will be with your mouth. He said, they will not even listen to me. God said, look, God works on some few miracles. He said, you know what? I'm not a good speaker. There are good speakers in Vancouver. Lord, not me. If you look at my accent, they don't even understand my accent. When I speak, they don't even understand. I've got a bad accent. This Timbuktu accent, nobody, God, call a white person who can go to the white people. Me, God, no, I can't speak. Then he said, God, send somebody else, send somebody else, send somebody else. In all the excuses, God said one thing, verse 12. And God said, I will be with you. For all your inadequacies, God said, I will be with you. Why is that so critical? When God is with you, he will provide his power. When God is with you, he will provide what? Make provisions for you. Where there's a vision, there is a provision. When God is with you, his peace will be with you. When God is with you, he will protect you. And the Bible says, and God was with Joseph. Gideon, I can't do it. God said, I'll be with you. Do you know the last words Jesus gave us before he ascended? He said, lo, I am with you always. What's your excuse? He said, I am with you always. That takes care of all your insecurities, all your inadequacies, and all your excuses. Never give up on your dreams. No matter what, never give up on your dreams. I don't know what might happen to you. I don't know where you are. I am here to tell you, you need to dream again. You need to shake it off right now. Shake it off. I don't know what has happened to you. Maybe very deep, maybe not. But I don't know your dream. I don't know where you are. Today you need to shake off the killers and rise up again. I need to give you a few seconds, maybe 20 seconds. Just let it sing. How has God spoken to you? What are the things that limits you, that make you think so shallow? Is it immaturity? Is it capacity? Have you settled? Are you too content? Are you the one that's the way we've done it before? Lack of failure. I've made so many mistakes in my life. I'm not ready to try again. It's too painful. There's room. Your dream has not expired yet. Can I encourage you? Now, before we close tonight, officially, I would like to pray for some of you in this room today. You say, Pastor, I don't know Jesus. I really don't. And I don't want to pretend. I don't have a relationship with God. And you know you are headed the wrong direction. To fulfill your dream and to allow God to work in your life, you first need to surrender your heart. And that may take a little bit of courage. And God wants to change your life. And I want to pray for you. Don't be ashamed and nothing to be afraid of. It takes courage to come to God. The thief on the cross with everybody watching, say, Lord, remember me in paradise. Will you do the same? He died for us publicly. He calls us. If you are here and you need to dream again, and you know that you need to begin afresh with God, you need to begin that journey. You don't have relationship with Jesus. In the next 2 minutes, I'm going to encourage you to make your way up here and say, Pastor, pray for me. I am the one. If there's nobody in the room, maybe this message is for me. I need to turn around. You are welcome here. Don't be afraid. I'm going to pray for you, and God is going to change your life. Can we do that? All right. Everybody stand up on your feet for a second. And in the next minute or two, every eyes closed, and pray for yourself and pray for anybody here. And if you are here today, I only have 2 minutes. That's it. We speak to nations.